Hey guys, Captain JJB84. Well, off with one review and now the next one. And that is Captain America, the First Avenger. Alright, Captain America, the First Avenger. Just a little point out, I know nothing about Captain America. In fact, I don't really know much about superheroes, except like Batman and Spider-Man. I remember I saw this with my little brother and a friend of mine. A little brother knows more about this than me and my friend. But Captain America, Steve Rogers. This is sets up for Marvel's been making movie after movie this year. I mean, they've done three, so this is the third one so far. Can't speak for a second. But yeah, they've done three movies this year, and two of those, Thor and Captain America, are going to set up for the Ultimate Avengers, which comes out next year. And I think they just released a movie poster, which is on Wikipedia already. But anyways, Captain America. I like it. It's not as I like it a little more than Thor. I don't like it as much as, say, X-Men First Class. So probably about an 8 for me. But let's get into it a bit. We start off in Norway, actually, in March 1942, during the Second World War. These two guys are trying to protect this temple-y thing, and then Hugo Weaving pops in and steals this cubey thing, the Jewel of Odin. Then we get to New York City, where we see Steve Rogers, played by Chris Evans, who's desperately trying to get into the army. And you've seen him, he's just this shrimpy little guy. I mean, like he's tiny. And all he wants to do is fight for his country. And his friend, who's a sergeant in the 107th Battalion, he's going off to England tomorrow. And, all Steve wants to do is just join and just be not a hero. He just wants to fight for his country. I mean, one thing I will say about about Captain America is that you actually kind of feel sympathetic for him. I mean, he's just this tiny guy. He can't do much, but he just wants to. And then, yeah. Okay, hold on. I'm just a bit stuck for a second. And then, before him and his friend Bucky go, the night before Bucky goes off to England, they go to one of those world exhibition things. I don't know, World Expo or something. And then they meet Howard Stark, an inventor, and I think he's got some relation to Tony Stark. Let's see. I don't know. But Howard Stark may be some relation to Tony Stark. But, yeah. So, and then after that, Steve Rogers meets a scientist who says he can help him. And then he gets him into the military. And then they meet this English woman who's the girlfriend for the movie. Just saying that. And after that, and then he's not doing very well, he's a bit shrimpy, so then he gets selected for an experiment from this German scientist. They're gonna essentially make him bigger. And I was laughing my head off, not during the trailer, but during this bit in the movie. He goes in a shrimp, comes out friggin' like Sylvester Stallone mixed with Schwarzenegger mixed with some other big, huge. He pretty much gains an extra 120 pounds of muscle. And then next you see there's actually a Nazi spy there who steals a vial of the things that the liquid used for him, and he kills the German scientist. And then you see Chris Evans, that's the actor. You see Steve Rogers just in action. I mean, he just really runs really fast, can do all that crap, and incredibly strong looking. feeling jealous. But anyways, he's pretty much he pretty much looks. He's got the ideal bald fur superhero. And after that, he's pretty much become a super soldier. Unfortunately, he's now reduced to marketing. Well, what I mean is, he's not exactly going to be fighting. Then he goes on tour and sets up a bunch of what are those things called? War bond campaigns. And pretty much that's where he gets the Captain America looking like suit. Not the actual one, just like a made of like just weird cheap material. And yeah, I think there's a bit of a historical error in this, but I'll get to that later. But anyways, he can't see any action yet. When he's in at the front, about 5 miles from the front in Italy, he learns that his friend Bucky, his battalion got captured. He then gets a bunch of gear and a few weapons and then heads out to save them. And he does. And he saves them in a really just cool looking scene. Works well. He saves them all, and we meet the villain, Red Skull, played by Hugo Weaving. And I'll get to that later, actually. And something else. And then he gets back, and then he meets Howard Stark again, who gives him his shield. His shield apparently is this special material, which there's only so much of it on Earth that most of it's in the shield, like the round thing. And then it's like bulletproof. Like if someone were to, someone were to shoot a bullet at it, it wouldn't like vibrate or anything. And he gets the Captain America suit. And one thing I like about the suit is that it's actually really cool looking. It's got a bunch of little things on it everywhere. Got space for his guns. You even get a cool looking motorcycle. And we got actually this really well done montage of just him busting action like all over, pretty much winning the war almost in 1943. One thing I will say, the 3D wasn't really necessary, but yeah. But I think it's good. And then we get the final battle. He fights Red Skull, and in a ship, Red Skull built all these special bombs that he's going to use on some of the major American cities. And sorry I skipped over all the plot, but he made all these major bombs, and one of them set to New York City, his hometown, and he defeats Red Skull, but is stuck in the ship. And he tells his girlfriend, I'm gonna have to crash the ship. And he flies it over just some Arctic, and crashes it. One thing I forgot to mention was the very beginning of the movie. The very beginning of the movie sets place present day, where they uncover where these scientists uncover this frozen thing in the Arctic. Looks like a giant metal thing. And then, wouldn't you know, that was a ship. And then he wakes up in some sort of facility where they kind of simulated the 40s. He even got his girlfriend's accent wrong. And he gets out, and he's in present day New York City. Then he meets Nick Fury, the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., Samuel Jackson, Samuel Jackson. Nick Fury, who's the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., pretty much is going to get the Avengers together. Nick Fury was in Iron Man 2, Samuel Jackson with the eye patch. And this pretty much sets up for how he's going to get into the Avengers. So essentially he was frozen for about 70 years. Surprised how he survived, though. But I think the movie's good. It's pretty much an 8 for me. I like it a little more than Thor. It's just, you actually care for this superhero. I mean, X-Men, it's a bit different because it depends on which one you connect with the most, or can relate to the most. You can care for him or her. With Thor, it's a little more difficult because Thor kind of started out as a bit of a cocky asshole. But eventually he kind of felt a little sympathetic due to the loss of his powers. I think it's Natalie Portman's ass. But I think it's good. The film also stars Tommy Lee Jones, Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones plays the non-general Patton. No, he's not Patton. Oh, historical error. I'm not sure when Patton became a general, because in 1942 they mentioned General Patton. I'm like, when did he become a general? Let me see here. This is bothering me. Okay. But just keep talking about that. But I think Tommy Lee Jones is pretty good. A lot of funny lines in this though. There's one bit where he's saying goodbye to his girlfriend. They're in this car and he's trying to get on the plane. Gets a quick kiss and Tommy Lee Jones is like, "I ain't kissing you." He's got some pretty good lines though. But I think the movie's good. Let's see. God damn it, where is it? This page is about 500 miles long. Here we go. Patton didn't become a general till, well, Major General, Lieutenant General in 1943. He didn't become like a General Army of the United States till 1945. But I think it's good as it is. I think the movie's good. Yeah, everyone will enjoy it. Don't go to the 3D though, not worth it. Well, I guess it's been a Captain's Review, and I'll see you all in Cowboys and Aliens. Alright, see ya.